was start with the end in mind. And I look at that and I was chasing footy because I was chasing money for sure, but ego and status and fame. I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm never going to be at this stage again where I have this unicorn blood where I can wake up, recover, bounce out of bed. I've got no expenses. I'm living at home. I'm an athlete. My testosterone's through the roof. What can I do now so that I can continually enjoy the next stage and have a long and fruitful life? Yeah, man, everything comes at a cost. So mentally and psychologically, psychologically, when you're saying yes to that, you're saying no to opening your perspective to experiences, to your family, to different areas, whether it could be connection with your wife, with your children. And I've seen that destroy marriages where men have come to us in HBF and they've been so frugal with their money, they've been seen as a control freak from their wife who now sees them as fucking boring. And she ups and leaves. The excitement's gone. It's like,
it's the same thing, man. Like, I remember when I was 18 as well. I'm going back to 18, 16. I was in high school, and I'm like, I just want to get a really good body, right? I was fat. I was a chubby kid in high school. I wanted to get a really good body. Why? Because I'm like, man, the guys that have really good bodies seem to like have all the fun. Like, my vision of that was we'll be at the nightclubs, I'll be at the beach, we're having fun, we're going out for pizzas, drinks, party, etc., etc. By the time I was 24, I had a really good body, but my life was fucking boring. It was literally like, I'm going to wake up a certain time. I have to have cardio. I'm meal prepping my boxes. I went out. I wouldn't drink any alcohol. I didn't even go to parties in the end because I was like, I need sleep. It's the complete opposite of what my dream was. And I'm like, hold on a second. This is a little fucked. So there's a distortion of reality because what we really want is we want. Why we get into business in the first place? Every man for himself, because it's like, man, like, I want that car. I want to have that life, that fun life that you imagined in the first place. And I think we have to make the goal the goal. We can't change the goalpost because I found myself just not being fun. Yeah, boring. Boring as fuck. So me and Kerry have this thing. We work hard, but we'll play harder. And I think it's something that I have to get conditioned to because I'm so used to working hard. But when it comes to play, I can't play for shit. Like, my standards with play is like nothing. Zero play, man. Zero fun, all work. And I think at the end of my life, I think a lot back to when I'm going to die, sure, I might have worked hard. Well, was he fun? Was he kind? Was he generous? What do I want people to say? What do I want my kids to think about me? What do I want my grandkids to think about me? Was he fun, or was he just like a workaholic and it was fucking David Goggins, but fucking just intense? And that's amazing. A lot of people need that. Quite a lot of people, they need fun. They need kindness. They need this other side as well, because that's the experience of life. So it's I just find myself sometimes down these rabbit holes where you listen to David, it's so full on that like you activate him. And then at the end, you're just like, well, that's just so intense. If I just keep doing this, what's the point of my life? If my point of my life is to keep it going with my kids, then what do I want them to remember about me? And it's like,
that's where we're a good team, man, because I was probably all play, so we probably equalised each other a bit. I was probably too reckless in the fun and enjoyment side of things, which cost me. But which I guess takes me to, I'd probably, sorry, mate, I didn't answer the question when you said what advice would I give. I'd probably be that. I'd be probably saying, hey, you know what, you will never be, I'm going to do the same with Roman. Because I look at elite sport, man, and I wasted so much energy, Lynn. Like, even when you look back, boring or exciting as your life would have been, it's like that unicorn blood, man. You can work, you can do so much, you can train 3 times a day, you only need 4 hours of sleep. And the advice I give myself is, you will never be at this stage in your life ever again. Your life is a line, man. There's a start and an end point. Now, maybe when you die, it snaps up into a circle and whatever happens. But right now, I see that, and it's that thing that you've taught me, which I take every day now. I don't know if you.
What was it? I taught you a lot of things, bro. But what is this thing?
No, the statement you said to me, man, was start with the end in mind. And I look at that and I was chasing footy because I was chasing money for sure, but ego and status and fame. I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm never going to be at this stage again where I have this unicorn blood where I can wake up, recover, bounce out of bed. I've got no expenses. I'm living at home. I'm an athlete. My testosterone's through the roof. What can I do now so that I can continually enjoy the next stage and have a long and fruitful life? Even though it's not guaranteed, every stage I'm living in a peak state of life. And sports, one thing I'd say, man, is fucking sport I said yes to sport, and it took so much energy and time for me. Roman will be phenomenal. Like, look at my genes, man. Like, he'll be a freak, my knowledge, but I'm not going to push him into sport, Lynn, because I just don't believe that elite sport is the way. You know that. You laugh about it. Like this white jock who made sport dealers while you were working in the background, getting yourself together, making heaps of money.
You and I are so opposite. Like you and I are so opposite. So my conditioning is my parents' conditioning, which is come here. We came from Vietnam. We came from the war. We risked our lives. We grew 6 kids. You guys all studied to be fucking doctors so that you can have a better life than us. And I completely get that. You're the opposite, where you're like, yo, fuck the future. Let's go for now. I actually think you need both.
Yeah,
I genuinely think you need both. Like, you know that urge where you want to buy an X6M and you want that car and you want it like now? Yeah? You should get it now. Why? Because in 5 years, you're not going to want it anymore. And even if you get it in 5 years or 10 years, it's like, you know, what was that? What's a car that you've always wanted when you were in high school? And you thought, fuck, if I had this car, this would be amazing. But now if you buy the car and you use the car, it's no longer amazing because it would have made you feel a certain way based to your peer group back then. Right?
Yeah.
And
Because
I
the car I got
really
now,
think
it's
like
not
you gotta have it now. You gotta work hard and you gotta play hard. Play hard for now and enjoy the moment now, but also work at the same time so that tomorrow's even better than now. Like that's the dichotomy between the two. And so many people get stuck in the working hard, right? Because they're worried about the future, but they spend their whole life working hard. They've never had a life. Their life is nothing. Their life existence was to literally be an AI robot. Work the fuck, make all the money, but so for what? Then you've got the people that play hard, but they can only play as hard as they work because the playing hard leads to all the chaos and disaster the next day for not looking out for tomorrow.
cost them.
The
Yes,
cost, the
exactly.
opportunity costs, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I want to get the number plates. Work hard, play hard, genuinely, because that's a motto that I want to live by. That I haven't done previously, and it's something that I regret. So if I look back to, building the business, what should I have done more? I should have played harder, but at the same time, kept the amount of work hard. Does that make sense? Like I should have played hard. I should have partied with Kerry. Should have gone salsa dancing. Should have like just gone to all these. We went to so many places, man. Like before we had kids, and they were just all fucking business masterminds. I was just in the hotels. We went everywhere. We could have gone. We didn't. We haven't not been clubbing together, and that's. I look back now and I think that's so sad. I think that's the saddest part.
You should be bumping and grinding a mate and having fun
Bro,
together.
like we should be, but genuinely, like that's the idea. We went salsa, we learned to skill together, we're having sexy dancing together, whatever the case is. We haven't even gone out for a night. That's really sad. But next month when we go to Europe, I'm going to make that our goal.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, I agree, man. Like that's something I've struggled with, and you've helped me with the whole delayed gratification. Now, on the opposite, I've had zero of that, which means I've made choices which has cost me. But what
Yeah,
you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is if you can be a producer and position yourself where you can still enjoy the now, but you know that you can create better nows in the future because
yeah,
of your ability to live life, you can have
yes.
both.
You can't keep worrying about the future. So like but because you're not living. So the work is for the future. The work's for tomorrow, right? We put in the work today so tomorrow becomes better, easier, more prosperous. But if we keep putting in work for the next day, when do we ever get to check in? And by the time we check in, by the time we check out, sorry, I should say, cash out, check out, whatever, what do you want to say? It's too late. You're too old. It's not the same. Like you having a Lamborghini or fucking your X6M at 60 does not taste the same or feel the same as if you had it at 20. It's a completely different experience. At 20, you're like, oh, this is so awesome. This is so cool. At 60, you're like, yo, what are you doing, man? You're a loser. What are you doing with that car? You know? Does that
You know
make
what's
sense?
Yeah, you know it's crazy, man. When you just said that, then I actually just felt a whole weight lift off my shoulders. It's so weird. Like it's not to go woo woo, but I actually felt lighter because this HPF is fucking hard work, man. Like working with middle aged men, so much baggage, so much. Like it's been emotionally, and I can disconnect and whatnot, but it's challenging, and we're in a period right now of innovating our product, growing. There's a fuckload of stress everywhere, and I think not giving yourself permission to enjoy life, it gets
It doesn't
heavy.
work.
It gets fucking heavy, man. Like it really does. And then where's the joy?
Yeah.
It's not there.
I can tell you, like, if you look back at photos a couple of years ago, I can tell you, like, I had a lot more grey hairs. I was a lot more stressed out. I looked older. I sounded older. Even though I'm physically older now, like, you go back 3 years, I was torn. I was just stressed, right? And it's got to do with stress kills. And when you're constantly working and grinding, it kills you. When you're playing, and I just play with the kids now and genuinely play, and it's so much fun. And so I would encourage people that not to take any opposite stands, and I would encourage people to actually understand that having a really good balance is phenomenal. So if you work hard, you're going to enjoy the fruits. Why today? Because you don't get to enjoy it tomorrow. Like it doesn't taste the same tomorrow. So you have to enjoy a little bit of the fruit today, and then keep working hard so you run that leg room. I think that's big for you too, bro. Because sometimes like you're not wired like me. So when I tell you to hustle down and when you go nuts, like you'll go really hard, but it doesn't feel like good for you. Like I've just trained myself. Like that's how I grew up. So I'm like, whatever, man. I can like, bro, stop being a fucking pussy and let's fucking go. And you're like, yeah, but it doesn't feel not quite right because there's another side of you that's enjoyed the play and enjoyed the now. I think it's that other balancing act too.